Welcome back to our Svelte course. In this 14th part, we'll dive deep into event handling in Svelte 5. We'll explore DOM events, event modifiers, and event bubbling. Understanding these concepts will help you build responsive and interactive user interfaces with proper event management. So, let's first talk about DOM events. DOM events are actions that occur in the browser, such as clicks, key presses, mouse movements, and form submissions. Svelte provides a clean and intuitive syntax for handling these events using the ON directive. When handling DOM events in Svelte, you can attach event listeners directly to elements using the event name with ON directive. This approach is more declarative than traditional event handling and automatically manages event listener cleanup when components are destroyed. Let's understand it with a code example. Open Svelte page. Here, create a reactive count variable of number type using state rune and initialize it with 0. Then create a reactive input value variable of string type and initialize it empty string. Then create a reactive mouse position object with x and y coordinates of number type and initialize both with 0. Then create a void handle click function and inside it, increment the count value. Then create a void handle input function which takes event of event type as parameter. Inside it, create target variable and pass event.target to it as HTML input element for type safety. Then pass target.value to input value variable. Then create a void handle mouse move function which takes event of mouse event type as parameter. Inside it, pass values of x and y axis to the mouse position object using client x and client y properties of the mouse event. Then create a void handle key down function which takes event of keyboard event type as parameter. Inside it, use if to check if key pressed is enter, and then display the value of input value variable using alert method. Now come to template section. Here, create a button and pass these classes to it. Set title to and also print the count value in the title. Then pass handle click method to on click property of the button. Next create an input field of text type and pass these classes to it. And also set the placeholder. Then pass handle input method to on input property and handle key down method to on key down property. Next, create a block and pass these classes to it. Then pass handle mouse move method to on mouse move property. Then pass region to role property. And also set aria label. And inside it, display the x and y values of the mouse position object. And finally, create a paragraph and pass these classes to it. Inside it, display the input value variable. Now run the app to see the output. There's something wrong with the styling. Let's fix it. Now it's good. Here, we can see the button, input field, a block to track mouse position, and a paragraph. Now, if we click on the button, the count value increments. This is button event example. Next, if we type something in the input field, the value of input value variable updates in paragraph accordingly. And if we press the enter, the value of input value is displayed in the alert box. And when we move the cursor inside this block, position of the cursor is tracked and displayed in the block. That's how we handle DOM events. You should test out other events yourself. Now, let's talk about event modifiers. Event modifiers provide a convenient way to modify event behavior without writing additional code. These modifiers help with common event handling patterns like preventing default behavior, stopping propagation, or ensuring events fire only once. Common modifiers include prevent default, to prevent default browser behavior, stop propagation, to prevent event bubbling, once, to ensure the event handler runs only once, and self, to only trigger when the event target is the element itself. Previously, we could use these modifiers along with attributes like this. However, in Svelte 5, we can't attach these modifiers along with these attributes anymore. Now, we have to handle these in the functions. So, let's see the code example to see these changes. Before release of Svelte 5, we could use prevent default method like this. However, now we have to use it inside separate function. So, let's see the new way to implement it. Here, create reactive form input variable of string type. Then create a void function named handleSubmit and pass event of submit event type as parameter. Inside it, call event.preventDefault method. This method will prevent default behavior of the browser on form submit. Then use if statement to ensure that form input variable should not be empty. Inside it, print form submission message and also print the form input variable. Then create else block and print error message inside it. Then in template, create a form and call this function on form submit. Inside it, create input field, set its type to text, set the placeholder. Then bind this input field with the form input variable using bind directive and pass these classes. Then create a submit button and pass these classes to it. Set its type to submit. Now run the app. Here we can see the input field and submit button. Now open the console. Now as we submit the form, messages get printed to console and default behavior of the browser is also prevented due to the usage of preventDefault method. Now let's talk about click once button. Before Svelte 5, we could use once like this to make it one-time clickable. However, in Svelte 5, we have to implement it manually. There are different ways to achieve it, but I like these two methods. First, we'll see easy way. Here, create a reactive click once variable of Boolean type and set default value to false. Then create a void function named handleClick and pass event of mouse event type as parameter. Inside it, set click once variable to true. Then print the message in the console. In template, create a button and pass these classes to it. Then use onClick property and pass this ternary operator to it. This operator will check whether click once variable is true or not. If it's false, it will run handleClick function, and if it's true, it will not do anything as we passed undefined to it. Let's check the result. Here we can see the button. If we click on it, we can see the output message in console. However, when we click on it again, it does not work anymore. For it to work again, we have to refresh the page. Now, let's see the second way to achieve this result. First, import onMount from the Svelte. Then create button click of HTML button element type. Clear the old code. Then create onMount function. Inside it, call buttonClick.addEventListener method, assign it to click, then assign handleClick method to it, and then set once property to true. Here, this event listener will run this method when the button element is clicked, and as we set it to once, this button element is clickable only once. Then pass a method to return. Inside it, call buttonClick.removeEventListener method and assign click to it, and pass handleClick method to it. As addEventListener method add this function to click property of the button element. This removeEventListener will remove this function from the click property of the button element. Now, bind this button click element with button using the bind directive. I mistakenly made it input element instead of button element. Now let's see the result. Button is showing as before. Now, if we click on it, message is printed in the console. However, if we click it again, nothing happens because we set once property to true. If we remove this property and click the button multiple times, function also runs multiple times. But when we add it again, now button works only once. These are the ways to achieve click once function. You can choose either of these. Now, let's talk about event bubbling. Event bubbling is the process by which events propagate from the target element up through its parent elements in the DOM tree. Understanding event bubbling is crucial for managing complex interactions and preventing unintended event triggering in nested components. Svelte respects the standard DOM event bubbling behavior. Events bubble from child elements to parent elements unless explicitly stopped using stop. This behavior is consistent with vanilla JavaScript, but Svelte provides cleaner syntax for controlling it. Before Svelte 5, we could use stop propagation and self methods like these, but now we have to handle these inside the functions. Before implementing these methods, let's see how propagation works. Create a container inside template and pass these classes to it. Inside it, create a button and pass these classes to it. Also add title in container. Then create a void function named handleSelfClick and pass event of mouse event type as parameter. Inside it, print a message to console. Then create a void function named handleChildClick and pass event of mouse event type as parameter. Inside it, print a message. Then pass handleSelfClick function to containers on click property. Now it's giving the warning. To solve it, pass undefined to on key down property. Set the role of the container. Then set tab index. Now warning is gone. Now, pass handleChildClick function to buttons on click property. Let's see the result. Now when we click on the container, we can see the message in console. Now, if we click on the button, we see the child message, but we also see the message from the container. However, we didn't click the container. It ran because we clicked on its child element. When we click on a child element, it will also run the functions of the parent elements, all the way up to the root element. It can cause unwanted behavior. Now, let's see its solution. In handleSelfClick method, create an if statement and check event.target is equal to event.currentTarget, and inside it, print the message. This if statement will ensure that this code runs only when clicked element is the container and not a child element. Then in handleChildClick method, call event.stopPropagation method. It will stop the propagation in child element. Now, let's see the result. Now if we click the container, container's message gets printed. And when we click the child, only the message from the child element gets printed. This time functions of the parent elements did not run because we stopped the propagation explicitly. That's all for this section. See you in the next.